Hey everyone, I'm so glad you came back for part 2 of the Real Affordable Housing Solution. And I'm excited to really dig deep into how I am an out-of-the-box thinker about how to approach this and how I've seen people be very, very successful doing this with my more unconventional method. Believe me, I get a lot of side eyes and crinkled up eyebrows when I bring this up in certain rooms. Not everybody agrees with me. And I think a lot of that is a lack of diversity, to be quite honest. And so a little bit about my background. I was in the education field for 17 years at a leadership capacity. And I worked heavily in the urban core. And I have a very strong empathy and understanding of inner city culture and how vibrant it is and how outstanding it is and how important it is in every city and every place. And I really, really wish that people would learn to embrace and learn more about the different cultures around them just in their own geographic area. But that's another story. The way that kind of ties into what I'm about to say is this. When I was in education, we encountered a lot of students, that were evicted on a regular basis with their families. They had to leave at night sometimes. They had to leave toys behind, clothes behind, personal things that they were attached to that just couldn't go with them. They couldn't take everything because maybe they were going to stay in a hotel. Sometimes they even lived in a car for a period of time. And this is very real and very prevalent in every major city across the United States. So, and even in some small towns, it's just not something that people are very comfortable talking about. So with that said, those individuals and most individuals, a lot of people, when they grow up and become adults, a lot of people like to live in neighborhoods where they grew up or very close to where they grew up or similar to where they grew up. And when you look at your inner city, younger adults, even your 30-somethings, they really want to be in the neighborhoods that they grew up in. The schools that they went to are there. Grandma's house is there. People that they've known for 10, 20, 30 years are still living in the same houses sometimes, which is an amazing thing that America has lost as a society over time. But at any rate, what they don't want is to have to worry about not being able to pay the rent, about being evicted, like what happened to them when they were children. It was traumatic. It's something that stuck with them. And, it also makes them very, very proud and determined as they enter adulthood that they're always going to make sure that they can afford a roof over their heads. Well, the housing market has changed drastically in the last 5 years, and rental rates have gone through the roof, and they're not affordable for a lot of people. There's a lot of regular tradespeople that are, you've got your Amazon workers, you have your factory workers, you have your warehouse workers, you have a lot of tradespeople, you have landscapers, you have plumbers, you have just a ton of walks of life. I don't even want to sound like I'm discriminating because I'm really not. But those people, if they are a one-income family, like they're single, a lot of them may even be paying child support. They may be a single father, but not the custodial parent, right? So there's a million scenarios. It doesn't really matter why. All I know is that there are hundreds of people in our city and in your city that can't afford to rent an entire house, okay? $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, $1,800, $2,000 a month is not realistic for them. It's just not. It wouldn't leave them enough money to buy food and transportation and other necessities that they have. But what they can afford is to rent a single room with either a private or shared bathroom and a shared kitchen area that is part of a house with other people that are doing the same thing. And in my experience, most of the time when people are going to rent out their rental properties in this manner, or even in a conventional sense, they either hire a property management company to screen their tenants, do the background checks, do the credit checks, whatever the criteria may be that's agreed upon, and place the individuals in these homes and in these rooms. There's a company called PadSplit that provides that service for people that contract with them to do so. They will run their background checks. They have their own set of criteria that individuals have to meet in order to qualify or be approved. And if they don't meet that criterion, then the actual homeowner never sees that person's application because they didn't make it through, the PadSplit screening. I have a different philosophy when it comes to this kind of thing, because I feel like a lot of the folks that really need this affordable housing are the people that nobody will rent to. And not just because of a credit score, not just because of a credit check, not even just because they had an eviction or two. We're gonna go a little deeper here. I'm talking about people that actually have a criminal background. I said it. And not always just misdemeanors either. So let's stretch your mind for just a minute, because I know some of you are like already hitting the button, like, I'm tuning out, she's crazy, da-da-da, but just hear me out for a minute. The larger population of very, very dangerous, violent criminals are occupying prison cells, okay? Yes, there are people out there that haven't been caught yet and all that kind of stuff, I get it. And there are people doing things that would get them put behind bars if they got caught and got arrested. I also get that. But here's my take on that situation. And so we don't do background checks and we don't do credit checks. What we do is we simply provide a 2-page list of rules that people are asked to read over it. If they don't agree, they don't have to stay, it's okay. If they're okay with our rules, then we're going to give them a chance. We're gonna give them an opportunity to have an affordable place to stay where they know they can still afford their transportation costs, to eat, to buy some clothes if they need to, things like that. And they can breathe a little easier knowing that for $650 to $800 a month, not only do they get a nice clean room, all their utilities are included in that price, including the Wi-Fi service. So that's a really affordable thing. And it takes the pressure off of them where they have to constantly be scared about not being able to pay, or getting kicked out because they couldn't pay, or having to go without food or go without electricity to pay the rent. And these individuals overall are very grateful for people that will actually give them that opportunity and give them that chance when their only other options really are very, very not nice places to live that don't care, or an extended stay hotel that's very expensive, or to couch surf from like person to person, which isn't really a way to live. So we've had great success with this. And our philosophy is, I'm not particularly interested in your criminal background. It's not really relevant to me. I'm not even particularly interested in what you do during your own time currently. As long as anything that you do that is illegal does not happen on my premises or on my property. So just don't bring any riffraff here. And you know, one of our rules is you can't have guests. You can't have them outside or inside the house. So when you're home, and it's you, single occupancy, there's no double occupancy room, there's no pet, there's no support animal, there's none of that. You, your room, that's it. So if you want to go socialize with your girlfriend, you got to go over there and do it. If you want to hang out with your homies, you got to go over there and do it. If you want to, I don't know, sell a little weed, whatever it is, you got to go over there and do it. Because by the time you find your little self back here, it's you, no weapons, no illegal anything, just nice, clean you, coming to your room to watch TV, to work on your computer, to go to sleep, whatever it is. But all that other stuff has to happen somewhere else. And believe it or not, we have much fewer problems finding decent people. I go by my gut when I'm talking to them. I can get a vibe. I can also tell if they're sober, straight, or if they're kind of out there. And, you know, we don't fall under discrimination law because we're not leasing properties either. So we get the final say, a yes or a no. And we also have the option to put you out at any time and the option to enter your room anytime we want to. So with all that packaged together, if someone agrees to all those terms, they're probably not going to really do anything, because it says in our agreement that if we find that they are doing or have anything illegal on the property, not only will they be removed, but they'll be reported to the local authorities as well. So if they agree with all that and sign and pay to stay, the likelihood of them doing something that's going to really jeopardize you and your property is very slim. So just a thought. I know it's not for everyone, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that my investors that are using my model and doing it this way are having tremendous success, long time paying guests, no real issues other than a little food left in the sink drain once in a while that we have to remind somebody of. And we have people leasing to much more credible individuals having absolute nightmares. So think about it. Think about if you can wrap your head around taking a little bit different approach and how that can be such a win, not just for you as the landlord and the property owner, but for the people that you're giving that chance to and that you're making that housing affordable for. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts.